Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for another video. So in today's video, you guessed it, we have another X-Men. Mr. Kurt Wagner, aka Nightcrawler. Probably not necessarily a mainstay character from the X-Men, but I absolutely love this model and you'll see why. So my last video I did Gambit and I asked you guys what you wanted to see in the videos as far as tutorials, editorials, whatever else there was. And I appreciate the response and I am reacting to your response today. So I'm going to walk through the process, the build up and paint up of this model. I'm going to go over some of the paints that I used and some of the processes that I used as well. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Alright, so let's look at the model itself before I started painting it. So you guys kind of wanted to see what it looked like beforehand. And everything's printed and primered, and I've done some more sanding to it. But this is basically the model itself. It only comprises of mainly like 3 pieces, really. The body itself, then you got the base here that has all these, I'm not sure what they are, but they're like protruding little metal objects, I guess, or whatever. And then you got the base part, and I actually had to break this piece off in order to get it to the fit on the bottom of this. But it's really not going to matter. It doesn't need to be there anyway. And then you got the head. This normally comes with 2 heads and it comes with different hands, but I didn't like those, so this is the only one that I'm using today. And then there is a bunch of these tentacles or tendrils or arms or whatever you want to call it. And then sorry about that. And then we have the tail. So that's it. That is the model itself. So let's get to painting it. Okay, a couple of the paints that I'm going to use today are for the base are these Aztec testers. It's a pearl purple. Look at that. That's a beautiful color. And that's a a pearl white. Now I'm going to use this on the base, and then I'm going to mix the colors together and try to get a lighter purple to go over and do some highlights on it. But that's where we're going to go first with it. So the tentacles, or the arms, or whatever these things are called, I'm going to use this Vallejo acrylic metal. It's a chrome, it says dark aluminum, but it's pretty chrome. It's a really nice paint. I'm going to be using that on those, and then I'm going to do a dark black wash on those. And then in the center here, you'll see where the little, it looks like where the center right here, I'm actually going to do a kind of a glowing effect right there with probably like a red or some type of green light or something like that on there, just to make them look like they're shining on you. And for the base, I'll also be using this right here. Of course, I'll color the X on here, the emblem, but I'll be using a dark wash on that as well. Now for Nightcrawler's face, which is basically the only skin area that is going to be exposed, I'm going to use this electric blue right here from Vallejo's Mecha Color. This is a very vibrant blue, and I love this color. But it's going to be awesome when you see this applied to that. And for the suit, the pads on here, I'm going to be using this fire red and just a basic red from Vallejo. Alright, here I am going to lay down the base coat of the pearl purple, and then I'm going to mix the pearl white and the pearl purple together and go over and do a skim coat over some of the highlights on here to bring out a little bit of contrast. Later on I'll go with a cobalt blue on the little protruding things. And just the base part here is just a simple aluminum or chrome finish, and I'll do the wash on it a little later. Same thing with the tentacles. I'll actually do the wash on these before I actually put them on the model. And the electric blue, I will actually just do the whole entire head in that. And give the hair a good wash a little later on and actually do some highlights on the face as well as the tail. With the gray blue here, I'll do a little bit of highlights onto the eyes, the nose, the cheekbones, and any highlights of the face, and on the points of the ears. And then, trying to keep it comic related, I put the black into the eyes and onto the forehead like he kind of looks like in the comic book. So here I spray painted the gloves and the boots a white color and attempted to use this liquid latex. And while it looked like it did its job in the beginning, as I peeled it peeled off pretty good. But you know, it left a lot behind on the cracks and crevices, and it was just a pain to get off. So I imagine there's a little bit of a learning curve on this. So I probably will do a little bit more practice with this before I use it again. I used this whenever I painted the red onto the body for the rest of the suit. Peeling it off wasn't the problem. It was just I still had to do a lot of line work and a lot of prep over, or re-prep I guess you could say, and I could have just done this, eliminated this by hand painting it to begin with. And on the black, I did just hand paint that onto the suit. I didn't mask off anything. Again, with black, you just really don't have any brush stroke problems, so it goes on pretty smooth. And then I'll use the black also to go back and to do some shadows and shading with the airbrush a little bit later on. And then I added a wash to the hair of the head, and then I'll go back and do some highlights in it later, just to give it a little bit more depth. Same thing with the base, just received a major wash, and I'll do a little bit of a chipping effect with the bright silver a little bit later on once I seal it. And I used the light gray on the gloves and the boots to bring out some of that detail. And then I do a little bit of dry brushing of a bright white to accent some of the highlights coming out. I did do the rest of the suit in the gray. There is a lot of fine detail into the shoulder pads and into the chest area, and I wanted to actually bring that detail out a little bit, so I put a little bit of a coat on that one. And then I went and I dry brushed the hair with the electric blue again. And then I did a little bit of tips and highlights with a lighter gray blue. Make it stand out a little bit more. And then finally the last part on the tentacles, I used these two colors for the light effect. I think it turned out pretty good. So that's the end of the video, everybody. I do appreciate you watching. I do want to give a big shout out to each and every one who has supported the channel. We just reached 4,000 subscribers. To me, that is a huge milestone. So the next stop is 5K. Then after that, we're going for broke. We're going for the 10K. Hey, and don't forget to sign up on my Patreon. The link is below in the description. We do have a Discord where you can get on there and talk to different modelers about printing, modeling, painting, or just whatever. We have lots of up-and-coming builders on there looking to share their work and answer any questions that you might have. Plus, it's a great way to get in touch with me, any questions or any suggestions that you might want to see in the videos. So again, thank you for all of the support that you've given me in this short amount of time. I do greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next video, everybody, remember my motto is print, prep, paint, repeat. Get out there and create something. Stay safe, and we'll see you.